Hello, happy Thursday to all of you, and welcome to the Get You Happy On live stream. And also, welcome to hashtag Happy Laugh Hour, because I definitely want to make sure that you're getting in your laughs for the day. So, this is where you can bring your own beverage. So, tell me what you're drinking today. I, of course, have got my favorite mug. Look at that. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. And today I'm drinking ginseng tea. And did you know that ginseng grows in Wisconsin? I did not know this. And so I was recently traveling and, of course, had to stop by those airport shops. And this is what I came across. And I thought it was so interesting and had to pick up some. So ginseng tea, and it's actually delicious. So I highly recommend it as well. All right. So tell me how you're doing today. So this is midweek Thursday. We're almost at the end of the month, August, getting ready for September. So please comment in the chat, say hello, let me know what's going on with you, what is new with you. And so I am just super grateful today to have our two guests. This is my first time to have two guests on the show. Usually I interview individuals, but today we have a duo and a couple. And so they are the marriage mentors, Jeeva and Sulojana Sam. And I'm so pleased to welcome them today. They are, of course, LinkedIn connections. I've met them through LinkedIn, through networking. And I met them in October last year. And we've just been, touch and go. I keep tabs on what they're doing. And congratulations are in order for them. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes, but I'm super excited to see how they have really progressed in their business and their coaching, and super excited to have them on the show today too, to talk about what it takes to have a successful and happy marriage. So without further ado, let's welcome Jeeva and Sulojana Sam. Here we go. Ta-da!
Hey!
Hello.
Good to be with you.
Yeah.
So nice to see you. How are you today?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. So I want to say right off the bat, congratulations on your brand new book, The Unbreakable Marriage.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're excited too.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm drinking my Happatino.
Oh, I love it. And do you have a copy of the book there for everyone to see?
We'll have it maybe search for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
it is.
backwards. You gotta fix your camera. Down below in the settings, you can adjust the camera setting and do the mirror image.
Oh, it's the mirror image. Okay,
The
sorry.
mirror image. Yeah,
Sitting.
we'll get it right.
Okay, mirror.
There it is. Yeah. Look at that.
Unbreakable Marriage.
Brand new best-selling authors. You can get this book on both Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Super congratulations to both of you. I mean, this is just incredible. I love it. I love the picture. And how did you even choose that picture? I'm curious. With the egg and the hammer, is there a story behind that picture?
Yes, there is a story behind that picture. So we work with different mentors and coaches, and so one of them that I work with, his name is Steve Cassianenko. We call him Steve K for short because most people can't say Cassianenko. And so Steve actually has been helping us set up like a book funnel and so on, where people can go and connect with us, watch a video, that type of thing. And so he actually had a dream, and he woke up one morning and he saw this picture of this hammer hitting an egg, but the hammer broke and the egg remained intact. And he felt like God was telling him, hey, that's for the Sams, that's for their book. And so he just shared the concept with me and said, I don't know how you're going to bring it to life, but that's what I saw. And we both said, yup, that's it. We need to somehow find a way to put that on the cover of the book. Now, it wasn't easy, getting that graphic done exactly the way that we wanted. It took about 6 months, actually, firing a few artists and hiring new ones and so on. But eventually it turned out the way that we wanted it. And so,
Yeah, we were going to explain a little bit about the picture. So the egg is the marriage, that is strong. when the couple is united and a team, then the hammer, are the challenges, the different things that people go through. If you're united, if you're strong as a couple, as a team, nothing can, no matter what challenges may come, you can stand strong and you can withstand those challenges. So that's what the picture symbolizes.
And the egg, of course, is fragile. So marriage is fragile.
Yeah.
But even though marriage is fragile, a marriage can be strong, and that's why our subtitle is how to stand in unity and withstand adversity. And so, when a couple stands together, then even though marriage is fragile, it actually gets very strong. And so, whatever comes to break the marriage gets broken, but the marriage remains intact.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, that is so amazing. Wow, what a compelling image. And I'm glad you got it just right, because it's very striking, and you don't think about the marriage being a metaphor for the egg.
Yeah.
That's a new one, right? So that's excellent.
Yeah, it was definitely divinely inspired.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It sounds like it for sure. And I just want to take a moment and just show gratitude for our LinkedIn connections, because we met all the way back in October through Chris Colt. So big shout out to you, Chris Colt, for introducing us. I mean, we're part of your challenge community, and it's been so fun. Like, honestly, it's been so fun just to watch the two of you grow. I've been on your live streams and I follow you, and then to see the book announcement early this month, I was like, what? It just was like such a surprise. It came out of nowhere. And then I was so happy that you accepted invitation to appear on the show so we can talk about this. So congratulations all around.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's exciting.
It definitely is. So I found this magnet. I've got this magnet that's lying around in my house, and it's called the 10 Rules for Happy Marriage. So it's the perfect size for my fridge. And so every time I open the fridge, I have to pause and read through this list, right? I sometimes have to pause and really think about committing. So I'd love to share the rules, and maybe perhaps you could give some input about any rules that you would like to add, et cetera, to this list. So here we go. Number 1, never be angry at the same time. Number 2, never yell at each other unless the house is on fire. Number 3, if one of you has to win an argument, let it be the other one. Number 4, if you have to criticize, do it lovingly. Number 5, never bring up mistakes of the past. Number 6, neglect the whole world rather than each other.
Wow.
Number 7, never go to sleep with an argument unsettled.
Yes.
That's the one that's a challenge for me. Number 8, at least once every day, try to say one kind or complimentary thing to your partner. Number 9, when you have done something wrong, be ready to admit it and ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
Number 10, it takes 2 to make a quarrel, and the one in the wrong is the one who does the most talking.
Very true to life. Yeah.
No,
So
those
do
are
those
all
rules resonate with
excellent.
your coaching?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, the one about the anger part, go to bed. There's actually a Bible verse that says, "Don't let the sun go down on your anger," which is another way of saying, get things taken care of.
Yeah.
Before you hit the head, hit the hay rather.
Otherwise, you won't be sleeping. You'll be thinking about that, and just brewing.
Yeah.
And
So one thing that I would add is to forgive each other as quickly as possible. The more quickly you forgive, even before you ask for forgiveness, forgive them just in your heart, just between you and God, and just say, I'm not going to hold this against this person, because if you don't forgive, then it's going to stay inside of you and keep brewing.
yeah,
And then you will get mad at your partner for the smallest of things that had nothing to do with what you fought about, and simply because you did not forgive them quickly enough.
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. Thank you so much. Um, I'm curious because I mean, you bring so much experience to the mentorship, marriage mentorship, because you've got the pastoral experience, and talk a little bit more about this mission that you've got, because I think you've got a really compelling mission. You're on a mission to save 50,000 marriages from divorce in the next 5 years. Like that's
Yes.
wow. Why this mission? Why do you feel called to do it? Why this number specifically? And in the time frame that you've given yourself.
Well, it's a little bit like that graphic, that our friend Steve received. Like we didn't actually dream this up. Like I just felt, one day in my quiet time, that this is what God dropped into my spirit. And quite often, we talk about like big goals, but in the faith realm, we also talk about God-sized goals. And to me, that was a God-sized goal, because there's no way my human mind can conceive of that. Because even when I heard that, I had to do a double take. It's like, did I hear that right? 50,000 in 5 years. And so the number one thing about a big goal like that is that we can't do it on our own. Like God has to intervene and make it happen. But on a very practical side, we also began to realize that we needed others involved in helping us to get to that goal. And so when I talk about others, part of it is other mentoring couples. So we train up other couples to do the kind of mentorship that we do, and so through them, the numbers get multiplied. I actually met with the pastor this morning in a church, and when we were talking about how within their church, which is a few thousand people, they can actually match married couples, who've been married for a longer period of time with couples who are just starting out in their marriage, and mentor them at an early stage before they get to the point of getting into trouble. Okay, and the book is actually part of that goal as
Yeah,
well.
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the book, it can reach people like all over the world, and we are here, and the book, now is sold in so many countries already. So then if people read it and follow and do the homework, there's a workbook that goes along with that. So if they do all that, it will help marriages, and that's how we are going to fulfill that 50,000 marriages in 5 years. So all of this, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. So it's really a multiplication, process that needs to kick in, and you've seen this, right? Where like if you start with two, and then 2 by 2 is 4, and 3 times is 8, and 16, and before you know it, you're hitting astronomical figures.
yeah.
And so that's the way it's going to grow, is by people mentoring people who mentor people who mentor people, and so on. So that's the way I believe it's going to happen.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a write it down. I got to write this down. So growth by multiplication and collaboration.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Great.
And Olivia, whether you realize it or not, you're part of that, helping us reaching that goal today. Because through you, we're going to reach an audience that we would not have met otherwise.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so there may be some people who are watching today, with whom that is resonating, and they're saying, I got to get that book and that workbook, and I got to work on my marriage, but maybe I can give it to my pastor, to my leader, to my family
My
member,
children.
to
Yeah.
my children. And so that's how they become part of the mission, even though we didn't actively recruit them. So this is beautiful.
Yeah, and we've been on a few podcasts also, so that will help, reach an even wider audience. So yeah, yeah.
Oh, awesome. And this whole show concept started because I wanted people to connect and I wanted people to collaborate.
Hmm.
But I think because of the pandemic, that's one thing that's taught me is to take advantage of these online opportunities that we have and to cross promote and to collaborate. I mean, you're all the way up there in Ontario, Canada, and I'm in Florida, and yet I can still feel like this immense connection, like we're side by side
Yeah.
Yes.
and we're having this conversation. And I love what you said about you also mentor other coaches, and counselors and pastors to further on this mission. So it's not just up to you by yourself. Like that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is really, really awesome. So I'm curious, what adversity have you come through? Have you, Jeeva and Sulojana, have overcome?
Lots of them. One of the major things I would say is in the area of finances. We were both, brought up, the philosophies with which we were brought up, with finances was very different. Whereas in my family, I still remember my father, he never borrowed money for anything, even, as little as, buying clothes up to, huge purchases like a house or other things or land. He never borrowed any money. He said, you have to save it up. And if you don't have the money, you don't buy it. And yeah, that's how, I came to Canada. And when I came here, it wasn't the same. And yeah, everybody, the credit card, this is how many, 38 years ago when I came here.
Yeah.
And Jeeva was brought up differently with,
Yeah.
in
Well,
terms of
I was
finance.
already in Canada for 7 years. Not that like our family had a very strong Indian upbringing as well, but my parents were not quite as strict as her father was. So in our family, it was basically, if we need something badly, like for example, I remember our family built a house, but there was a loan, but knowing that the loan would be paid off after a certain length of time, like a mortgage, right? And so, whereas in Canada, credit is very easy to get, and especially at the stage that I got married, I was fresh out of university, starting a first job, and so all the credit card companies courted me, and kept on sending me all these free offers, and
And you couldn't say no.
72 easy payments. It's like, wow, so the whole vocabulary of affording something in Sulojana's side, it means you had the money. For me, it meant affording the monthly payments. And so, unfortunately, like I bought into that philosophy, hook, line, and sinker. And so,
Too much.
Yeah. So it got to the place where all of a sudden the credit card companies were not my friends anymore.
His wallet was this thick with credit cards.
And of course, she had no idea, how much was
Yeah. They were
on balances
all
they
maxed.
were. Yeah. And so unfortunately, at that stage, this is like, you're talking about a few years back, a few decades ago, when we didn't have cell phones. And so we had these things hanging on the wall called a telephone. And so when the phone rang and I wasn't home, she had to field those calls from
The
angry creditors. And then she'd say, what was that all about? And so at some point, I had to finally fess up that I had caused some damage.
Yeah, so that wasn't very good. But, so eventually we decided to take Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you've heard of Dave Ramsey, yeah? Oh, that's good. So he's...
Financial Peace University.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that. Yeah. So we did that and we decided to follow through with his budgeting. That was the biggest thing. And got rid of most of our debts.
Yeah. And the deeper issue there, Olivia, is, and this is true of finances for some other couples, it may be in different areas, is really the lack of transparency.
Yeah.
And so I was not transparent with Sulojana about what was going on in the financial realm. And because she thought, well, he's already been here, he's taking care of everything.
Yeah.
But really, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in our marriage.
Yeah, I think I trusted him too much.
But we see that happen all the time.
Yeah.
With couples that we mentor, there's a lot of times that the spouse that does, and in most marriages, one spouse does take care of the bills and is better at handling money and so and has maybe more of an aptitude for doing that. But when the other spouse doesn't even know what's going on, like that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so especially when you're doing some things that eventually end up causing issues, and you bring them up at that point, then like it can become this like the launch of World War III, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the big issues in lots of marriages. Finances can cause friction. So yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, and so even now, Slojan doesn't actually want to know all the details.
Yeah.
So, but we
But
came
as
up
long
with,
as
yeah,
the bills are taken care of
you
and
know,
no more, hidden credit cards, I'm okay.
yeah, yeah. So we just basically sit down twice a month.
Yeah.
Like once towards the beginning of the month, once mid-month. So like I drop the budget, look at all the bills, accounts, everything else, and basically we both look at it and say, okay, here's where we're at. This is reality for this month. And so if we know we're going to have a surplus, we decide what to do with the surplus. If we know we're going to have a deficit, then we're going to decide, okay, how are we going to take care of the deficit? Are we going to be able to create enough income to take care of the deficit by doing something? Or if for some reason that's not happening, then, like, what do we do? But the thing is, we're both involved in making that decision together. Whereas before, I would just tell her, don't worry, I got it taken care of. And unfortunately, me taking care of sometimes was really not doing anything with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I have heard that, before you enter a marriage, or even if you're dating, get clear on what your money personalities are like. Because one of you might be a saver and one of you might be a
Yes.
spender.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was one of the hardest things I had to own up and be transparent with my husband about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are not alone.
No,
Yeah.
not alone at all. And I'm glad you said that, Sulojana. You're not alone, because I think I saw one of your live streams in the past where you're like, it's okay to ask for help.
Mm.
And it just really struck me, because I don't, I kind of feel like a little bit embarrassed, like asking for a marriage coach.
Mm.
And have you come across that with some other clients who kind of just, who may not have considered like they would need a coach or they would need
Yeah.
a mentor for marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
What
stop
are
and
your expectations around that?
just stop and think about this, Olivia. Like, I think you are a prime example because you've already talked about some of the coaches that you've had, and I have a number of mentors in my life at any given time, for different areas of my life. And so, if we have achieved any success at all in what we're doing, we didn't do it on our own. We were mentored by someone. Sometimes the mentorship was only for a short period of time. Some of them are ongoing, and so and think about it. One of the largest, most significant enterprises that anyone will undertake in life is marriage. And so, why do we think that we can do marriage on our own? Why do we not think that mentorship is essential for marriage? And it doesn't have to be like ongoing. It doesn't have to be somebody that moves in with you. You may just need someone like us for a period of like 3 months or 6 months or something like that, or you may just need a counselor, to tide you over. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Olivia's question is some people hesitate, right?
Yeah.
There are two things that came to me. One is cultural. Like in our Indian culture, lots of couples, they won't seek help. It's like below their dignity. They don't want to
Admit.
admit. It's not good for their reputation, for the family. So they keep it hush hush within themselves. Or sometimes even seeking help within the family, it is a no. And that's one thing. The other thing is in our church circles, people don't want to show that they have problems, but Jesus said there's going to be tribulations in this world. He didn't say there won't be any problem. So, but again, when you're in say a pastor of a church or something, people are looking up to you for help, and so it's very hard for the pastor to open up to their congregation and say, or somebody in the leadership to say they're having problems. So that's why we are here. They can come to us. We are confidential. We don't reveal, anyone that comes to us, talk about it, mention names.
Even in our book, like we have a lot of names, but all the names are made up. Like there's no real person actually mentioned in the book. And we actually have a whole chapter on finances, by the way, where we cover a lot of this. But going back to the whole idea of mentorship for marriage, one of the reasons why over the decades and centuries, most of us or our previous generations did not need mentorship is because people had good models of marriage,
Yeah, that's true.
in their family, in their community, in their church. But if you look at the statistics of how marriages have fared, I'm going to say even in the last like 40 years or so that I've been, in ministry, the divorce rate has steadily risen over those years. So virtually 1 out of 2 marriages end up in divorce. And so when you come from a broken home, then you don't have a model of a wholesome marriage. And so you have to do by guess and by golly, or by Dr. Phil and Miss Oprah, or wherever you get your information from, or reading some books, going to some marriage seminars, and so on. And so you don't have somebody in your life that you can go to, and like, for example, when I had difficulties, I had no problem talking to my dad about some things and say, how did you handle this? And our kids do that all the time. Say, how would you handle this? But that's not the way it is, unfortunately, and that's not in any way judging anybody. That's the reality. And so if you don't have someone like that in your life, then you need to seek them out. And it doesn't have to be one couple. You may hang out in a group of couples, where there's that interchange. Because our background is in the church is a perfect place where you may not want to go to talk to your pastor, but you can find another couple, who will be glad to, provide you with, it may not be a formal mentorship, but an informal, like a relationship.
Yeah. Somebody who has been married longer, who has a good marriage. Yeah, they can be mentors also. Yeah.
That's excellent, and I'm happy to hear what you said about just the models. Sometimes we need outside models to look up to for forming, our ideas of marriage and a happy relationship, etc. I love my parents, and I saw their marriage through my eyes, and everything was for the kids. And now that we're grown up, my mom and dad don't know what to do with each other.
Yeah.
So I see that, and it's quite an interesting dynamic, I have to say. And they're working through it, and so I saw that model was not something that I would want to have for my future. So I did have to seek out some other other couples, and I came across another couple. They're in their 80s, but they're still very happily married. And I asked them, because it was so different, such a stark contrast to what I grew up with. And so I had to ask them, Bob and Ann Lee, what are you doing differently? And they said, you have to make time for each other.
So
despite
true.
The kids, despite all the school stuff and family stuff, you still have to make time for each other. Kids go away, you are left together.
Exactly. You
have to know what the other person is doing. And so I have taken that advice on very much so. I don't have kids at the moment, but it's stayed with me. I write in my little journal, hey, make sure to still continue to get to know my husband, to spend time with my husband, despite everything going on, and he will tell me it's a 2-person world.
Well, the thing is, when children come into your life, then your life does revolve around them, for a season, because they demand that kind of attention, and that's the responsible thing to do. But the trick is not really a trick. The principle that you must stick to is that your spouse is still the number one person in your life, not your children. Your children should never be the number one in your life above your spouse, because that's out of alignment. Yeah.
Yes.
And we see this happen, like exactly what you mentioned about your parents. That scenario gets repeated a whole lot, where people spend so much of their time focusing on their children,
Yeah.
even sometimes getting them involved in way too many activities, that that they're just like chauffeuring them from place to place, and then it's like, who's the stranger that I'm coming home to, or by the time you come home, after being with your children, your spouse is already in bed, and if you don't set aside a block of time at least once a week,
Yeah,
to
that's
be
right.
together just for the two of you, find somebody to take care of the children, and like you have to make that a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend, a whole lot of money to do those kind of things. If you have friends or family, get them to babysit your children and, have a date night. Make sure you have those regular date nights so that, who your spouse is. And like you said, Olivia, it's so true. Children leave home and then you look at each other and, who's the stranger? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get to know your husband and your
Yeah.
marriage will be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, one of the things that I don't think we actually put this in the book, but one of the principles that we often talk about is that, like, if your spouse knows that they are the number one person in your life, and that's a mutual feeling, when both of you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the number one person in your life is your spouse, you will never need marriage mentors, you will never need counselors, because you will make sure that that is reflected in everything. And one of the most significant ways in which we let our spouse know that they're number one in our life is by making that time for them, and then guarding that time. Like, I'm going to make a confession here. We decided a few years ago that Friday nights, would be like our night. We never really called it date night, but it was our night to be together, to do whatever. Okay. And so when somebody called me and they wanted to meet me on Friday night, like for example, a couple who wanted to get married, I would say, sorry, my calendar is booked up. Now, I never told them it's because it's booked up because that's my time to spend with my wife. No. But Sulojana knew when I told them that my calendar was booked up Friday night exactly what I meant by that. So that let her know that, hey, I value time with you way more than I to do something with my work. And so if we did, sometimes we had conferences on Friday nights, but we would be both there together.
Yeah.
And so we would still find another date, another night or something, to be together on our own. And so when it's unavoidable, we do that. And I know some of the couples that are listening to this are saying, but you don't know our schedule. There's no way on God's green earth that we can find the same time, to work every week. Like you guys are, much older, your kids are not home, so it's easier for you to do. And to a certain degree, that's true. And if that's your work schedule, like some of you I know are traveling a whole lot, and so you may not
Shift work.
or shift work, yeah. So so never the twain shall meet. So if that's the case, then like set aside a day that you can be together every 2 weeks, or a weekend getaway, every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever the case may be. Have something that you can look forward to being together, just the two of you. No kids. By the way, if your kids are present, it's not a date night. It's not your. Anyway, I think everybody got the point.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yes. So honor those date nights with your spouse and leave the kids at home or with the sitter.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think that's so beautiful that you express that to your partner. I value time with you. You are my
Yes.
priority. So excellent, excellent. This has been a most enjoyable conversation. Thank you so much to the two of you. And I'm just so thrilled to be part of your movement in an indirect.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. that you
Absolutely.
given.
So if you are watching this, please engage with us. Drop in the comments, what are your burning questions about marriage? We may just answer them live or in the comments. So I know Jeeva and Sulojana will be very active in the comments. And so if you've got a burning question or something you're dying to know about what constitutes a happy relationship, happy marriage, drop it in the chat. And we'd love to hear from you. And of course, follow up with the Sams, get to know them. This is their website here on the screen. visit www.thesams.ca. And if you're sitting here wondering, like, man, how do I work with them? Like, how can I apply for marriage mentorship? We've got a special link for you. So you can go to this link right here. I'm going to show it on the screen. And if you follow this link, it's tinyurl.com/the marriage mentors. It will bring up an application form, and you fill that out, and that will get sent to them, and they will evaluate it and talk to you further about how how the marriage mentorship may work for you. So I encourage you all to download this link right now, bookmark it, etc. And of course, be sure to reach out to them on LinkedIn. So I'm going to show you the link here, LinkedIn. This is how we all met. I love LinkedIn for this reason. Building my network. So connect with them on LinkedIn. Follow all their posts. They're also on YouTube. So if you want to catch up on some of the previous live streams or videos that they've done talking about these very same topics, please visit YouTube and subscribe to their channel. And before we head off, I'd love to do rapid fire question time. So this is where we'll end the show, rapid fire question time. And since we got both of them on, I might just ask 10 questions of Jeeva and then 10 questions of Sulojana. All right, so here we go. Let me see. Let me just get this.
Jeeva start first.
Yes, so Jeeva will go first. Excellent. So favorite vacation memory?
We're both wearing Hawaiian outfits today. So Maui is, we'll both give you the same answer. That's one of the best vacations we had.
Awesome. What would your children say about your marriage?
They would actually say that it's been a good model for them. Yeah.
Excellent. And what did you do for your 39th anniversary?
Actually, we didn't do anything great. Our kids did something very interesting. This is the first time it's ever happened. They usually give us a gift card, to a restaurant. This time they actually took us out for a family dinner at a very fine restaurant locally. And so on the date of our anniversary, we actually went out for dessert. We both love cheesecake. So we went and had cheesecake together.
What is your favorite flavor of cheesecake?
It's something to do with chocolate and lots of it. So double decadent chocolate cheesecake with turtles and score and anything else in it. Man, I'm in heaven.
That sounds mouth-watering. Like I'm getting a craving for that cheesecake. I love the Cheesecake Factory. It's one of my favorite restaurants.
Yes. Yeah,
I would just stare at the cheesecake, case.
Yeah, we whenever we come down to the US, then we always make sure we hit Cheesecake Factory. So yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. So when did you finally get out of credit card debt?
It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think a little more than that.
Yeah. Once we started following, Dave Ramsey's process, start paying off the lowest balances first and put that payment on the next higher one, and so on. Yeah, maybe before. 4 years ago. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Recent. Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
congratulations. And it's I've gone through Financial Peace University, and I feel like I need a refresher because it's very intense.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And so to go through that completely and follow all the instructions is amazing. So, very well deserved kudos. So how many credit cards did you cut up?
Oh my goodness.
I think it's either 6 or 7.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's minimum.
Excellent. So what was your first impression of Sulojana? I know this about you, that you were an arranged marriage, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The very first impression.
Okay. She seems like a nice girl. Okay. Because we only had, our courtship lasted all of 15 minutes. And when we tell our story in our book, actually, of how we met, the marriage was arranged, and so on. And so first impressions were very, very important. And so I knew, and I was quite impressed with the way she was able to express herself in English very fluently, and so it was a combination of good looks, fluency in English, willingness to leave India and come to Canada. All those things that we discussed in the first 15 and those 15 minutes. Well, I had 7.5 minutes, so.
Oh, that's lovely. Awesome. What made you decide to go to Canada?
Actually, my dad came here first in 1975, and so he was a pastor in India, and then got an opportunity to be a pastor in Canada, and so he came. And then the following year, 10 months later, in May of 76, the rest of our family came. So that's basically how we ended up here. Yeah.
Wonderful. Favorite Bible verse?
Favorite Bible verse? Okay. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, indeed. And it talks about that God-sized goal, right? That,
Yeah.
our human mind cannot fathom, but with the strength of God, yes. Love that. That's a powerful reminder for today. Okay. What is your legacy for your children?
This is not a rapid fire question. This is an essay. Well, actually, another Bible verse comes to mind. There's a Bible verse in 3 John 2. It's got only one chapter, and it says, "Beloved, above all, I wish that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." And so basically, like our legacy for them would be that they would, like be in health, and they would prosper, even as and the soul is what we the combined term that we use for our mind, will, and emotions. That they would be able to get that harmony inside of them, that it will reflect in everything that manifests on the outside.
That's so lovely. Oh, so lovely. How do you say "I love you" in Tamil?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, see, the thing is, in the Indian culture, you don't actually hear people say to each other, "I love you." Like we never heard. I don't think I ever heard my parents say that to each other. You just know that they loved each other, and so you really stumped me on that one.
Yeah, you give hugs.
Yeah.
You give kisses.
Is there like a phrase of adoration or a phrase of?
Oh wow!
Anbu.
Yeah, anbu is the word for love, but we wouldn't usually say "Naan unne nambugirain," which means I love you. But I think it's more gestures of affection than actual words. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never thought about that way.
Yeah.
And it ties into the 5 love languages, right?
Yes.
So, gestures and
which is really interesting. When we did the 5 languages quiz, which by the way is also something we do with all our mentorship couples, and it's in the book. I found that like my 2 top ones were acts of service and words of affirmation, which really in some ways maybe because words we didn't really have a lot of words of affirmation in this in the modeling that we had. Yeah, and so, and especially the older that I get, I find the words of affirmation are more important for me to hear from Sulojana. Yeah.
So we try and make it a point. We pray at night, so we kind of exchange those words of affirmation. It's not every day. Every so often we ask each other. So yeah.
That's a beautiful practice. Awesome. Well, yay! So Jeeva completed his turn. Is you ready? All right, here we go. Who's the better cook?
He is.
Your favorite meal that Jeeva makes?
It's tandoori chicken.
Oh, I love tandoori chicken.
Yeah. He's just the best. Yeah.
He does the best? Excellent. Your favorite date night memory?
Having popcorn and watching a movie.
What kind of movie?
Oh, I like the humorous one. See?
Yeah,
One with humor.
get our happy on.
Yeah, that's right.
Romantic comedies is what we really like to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wonderful. Romantic comedies. Is there a favorite?
Oh, that's a good question.
We watched a few. What is that? That unlawfully
Yours? That's the
yours.
most recent one that we
Yeah,
watched.
that's the one. Unlawfully yours.
Or something like
Unlawfully
that. Sorry,
yours?
no, it's not unlawfully. I think it's unlawfully yours or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
maybe
It's not a popular movie. We just found it on Netflix, and we watched it.
I think unlawfully. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. In-laws. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find anything on Netflix.
Yeah. So, yeah, we like to watch. Ones with humor. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Excellent. Awesome. All right. Do you eat your popcorn plain or do you put some toppings on them?
Oh, it's got butter popcorn.
Butter popcorn?
Yeah, we don't add anything, eh?
Well, yeah, it's microwave, right?
Microwave,
So comes pre-buttered.
That's right.
Some people love to like add like spices or different
yes.
seasonings or sauces on their popcorn, but you're just like, nope.
No, too much work.
Yeah. Maybe we should try. Maybe you're giving us ideas.
Do you still feed each other?
Oh, sometimes, yeah, like feeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Sometimes.
Yeah, not a whole lot anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes Jeeva's busy, say cutting vegetables or cutting up meat especially. And then he wants a snack. I usually get him something and feed him. And he's done the same too.
The very first time we did that was actually on our wedding day, where it's a cultural
culture.
thing. So we each fed each other a banana and a glass of milk. So yeah. It's supposed to help her get pregnant and have babies right away or something like that.
And I did too.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah,
Excellent.
in Tamil they call it palum palamum. Pal is milk and palam is banana. So
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So I know a little bit about Indian culture and how parents like to have biodatas for their kids. Do you have biodatas available for your kids?
No. Yeah. Maybe some parts of India they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember.
It was a movie I saw on Netflix.
Oh, is that right?
Just parents are like just so flustered. They want their kids to have a happy marriage. It's the foundation of everything. So they try to like make these resumes and they call them biodatas for their kids and pass them around.
Oh.
Are you talking? Yeah. Did you watch that series about arranged marriages? Indian.
Yeah.
That's the one. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Matchmaking.
Yeah, Indian matchmaking. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that the second season just started, so we have to watch that.
Yeah, that's going to be our next date night movie.
It's fascinating, right? It's fascinating to learn. About, different cultural practices and different cultures' perceptions about marriage.
Yeah. When we got married, there was a broker involved, but like we're talking like 4 decades ago, and so they didn't have the biodata on computers. He had a piece of paper, and this column was all the parents that wanted brides for their sons, and this column was all the parents that wanted husbands for their daughters. And then he did, I think that'd be a good match. Oh, that's my biodata right there.
That's right.
Something that Jeeva says that just makes you laugh so much. Does he have a phrase or a motto?
Yeah, what makes me laugh is he always leaves things to the last minute, and then he's rushing around, and he said, "I'm late. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done," and it makes me laugh. You wait till the last minute. So,
well, one of my sayings that always makes a laugh is like we have a mailbox just outside, so I'll go check the mail, and so when there's no mail, I'll come in and say, "Well, Sulojana, today there's no male, only female."
See, I didn't even remember that. glad you remembered. Yeah, that's right. I hear that very often.
Sulojana, what is the best physical feature of Jeeva that you like the most?
I think his, I think his face and his eyes.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so wonderful. Well, this concludes rapid fire question time. You guys did great.
Well, thank you. You
Yeah.
took it very easy on us.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. That wasn't too bad.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much once again for just being part of the live stream show. Thank you to all of you who are watching this live. Please continue to drop those questions in. Your burning questions about marriage, maybe even about dating and relationships. Drop them in the chat.
Sure.
We'd love to hear from you. And please also get in touch with the Sams. So I'm going to show you all their links here one moment. So you can follow them on Facebook. They're there on Facebook. And you can also follow all their tweets on Twitter. So wherever you are most comfortable in social media, you will find them. Okay. So if you like Twitter, there they are. Right. So please follow their handle. And then, of course, if you would like to learn how to work with the SAMs, please apply for a marriage mentorship. And this is the application link right here.
Yeah, and Olivia, maybe we'll just add that whenever we get an application, like we pretty well all the time we'll meet with the couple. We'll give them a free consultation. Yeah, so it's worth about 500 US bucks. So because we go really deep in the consultation with them, and they will walk away with something that they can apply. Now, obviously, if they want to work with us, that's an option that we give them, but they will still get a lot of value out of the consultation. So we'd encourage if you really need help that you cannot, get the help on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can also like get our book right now because the book basically outlines what we do. But one of the things we found that even when somebody has the book in their hand, if they're not talking to each other, if they're still mad at each other, they don't even have enough willpower or goodwill rather to work through the book together. Then hello, here we are. Yeah.
Excellent. I did notice that online when I was looking at Barnes & Noble and Amazon, there is a companion workbook as well, which I think is
Yes.
excellent, and a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
So
That's
you get the
right.
whole complete package. So I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And just speaking of, if you're looking for a model, if you're looking for a model couple, right, you've got it here. I mean, these are two coaches for one, right? 2 for 1 deal here, which is amazing. And that's incredible value right there that you can apply for the consultation. It's a $500 value. I mean, that's incredible to get onto their calendars and to get their time. So highly encourage you to download this application and fill it out right away. And of course, meet them on LinkedIn. So you have not connected with them yet on LinkedIn, please go ahead and do so right away. So there you have it. And then, of course, all the information is available on the website. So please visit thesams.ca. And remember to comment, connect, and collaborate. So thank you all so much for watching Get Your Happy On. We're going to play the outro clip, and I will see you all next week. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching Get Your Happy On. Have you enjoyed today's episode? I invite you to comment. So please share with us your thoughts and ideas in the comments. We'll be checking and would love to reply back to you. Please also connect. Connect with each of our amazing special guests and connect with each other here in the comments as well. This is a great way to network and to make new friends. And finally, collaborate. I would love to find ways to collaborate with you or help you to find collaborations with vast people in my network. So remember, comment, connect, and collaborate. Thank you again. See you next week.